Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Ahmad Haris Aiman. I am from group 3. We present about the steps in calculating the voyage estimate. First, I want to introduce about the voyage estimate. A voyage estimate is an estimate of the expenses and income associated with a particular journey or trip is referred to as a voyage estimate. A voyage estimate is often compiled by a shipping firm or vessel operator. In order to offer an estimate of total profitability of the journey, it takes into consideration a variety of criteria including the amount of fuel used, the amount in port fees, and the money generated from the sale of goods. These estimates are used in the process of planning and budgeting for future journeys, as well as evaluating the success of previous missions. It is also an estimate of the expenditures and income that are anticipated for a particular trip or voyage is called a voyage estimate. This kind of estimate is through a financial plan. It is often developed by a shipping firm or operator of a vessel, and its purpose is to estimate the amount of money that will be made during a journey. This estimate takes into consideration a variety of elements, including fuel consumption, port fees, cargo income, the amount of goods that can be loaded and unloaded, and the length of time it takes to load and unload the cargo. The estimate also takes into account other expenses like as taxes and staff, as well as maintenance and insurance expenditures. The voyage estimate is used to plan and budget for future voyage and to assess the performance of past voyage. It helps shipping companies or vessel operators to make informed decisions about the voyage and the identity areas where cost savings can be made. Now, I want to tell you the basic of a voyage estimate. The formula is revenue equal income minus cost. In income equal to freight rate multiply total cargo. For the cost equal fixed cost, daily running cost, and voyage cost. For time components in a voyage estimate, an estimate of a journey will normally take into consideration the many temporal factors that are related with a voyage, including the following: loading and unloading time, transit time, waiting time, downtime, additional time, and the cost component in voyage estimate. It means that an individual category of expenses that are incurred during a voyage is referred to as a cost component in a voyage estimate. This cost might include both general operating costs for the ship, such as fuel use and crew salaries, as well as expenditures unique to a particular trip, including port taxes and cargo handling fees. For the cost component in a voyage estimate, it means an individual category of expenses that are incurred during a voyage is referred to as a cost component in a voyage estimate. These costs might include both general operating costs for the ships, such as fuel use, crew salaries, as well as expenditures unique to a particular trip, including port taxes and cargo handling fees. To determine the total profitability of the cargo of a voyage and to assist in planning and setting a budget for upcoming voyage, all cost factors are considered in a voyage estimate. It is simpler to spot place where costs can be reduced and where expenses are higher than anticipated when expenditures are divided into many categories of or components. The cost elements in a voyage estimate can be divided into a number of categories, including fixed costs, daily operating costs, and journey costs. To estimate a journey accurately, it's crucial to grasp the specifics of each category of charges because they each have their own features. Overall, the cost components in a trip estimate are the various variables that add up to the entire cost of a voyage, and shipping business or vessel operators can make a better judgment about the voyage by comprehending and analyzing these components. A voyage estimate will take fixed costs, daily operating costs, and a journey cost into consideration. Let's start to calculate the voyage estimate. First, we move to the example of this case studies. This is the example of the case study, and I want to translate the detail that be given into this case study. This passage describes a voyage plan for a vessel that is completing discharge at Rotterdam in the Netherlands and is scheduled to load cargo in Cartagena, Spain for discharge in Recife, Brazil. The vessel has a deadweight tonnage of 52,498 metric tons and a cubic grain capacity of 67,412 cubic meters. It also mentions that the vessel has a constants include a FW freshwater of 650 metric tons and a loaded speed of 13 knots and a ballast speed of 14 knots. The passage also provides information on the vessel's fuel consumption with a consumption of 23 metric tons of LSFO GO, low sulfur fuel oil or gas oil, per day for loaded and ballast speed, and 4 metric tons of LSFO GO per day for port consumption. The daily running cost of the vessel is $9,200 per day. The cargo for this voyage is 50,000 metric tons of NPK fertilizer with a plus minus 10% MOLOO, more or less at owner's option, and a specific gravity of 0.99. The freight rate for this cargo is $22 per metric ton, and there is a 5% commission for the voyage. The passage also mentions that the vessel will need to carry sufficient bunkers for 4 days of steaming on board and provide information on bunker prices and availability at various ports along the voyage. There is also information on port charges at Cartagena and Recife and on the distance between ports. Additionally, the passage mentions that the vessel intends to place on spot market at Recife after discharge with the same quantity of bunkers, and all the fuel used in SECA, which is called as Sulfur Emission Control Area, and EU ports must be ULSGO max 2.1%. All other areas to be LSGO LSFO max 0.5%. The first question that we get from this case study is what quantity of cargo can be loaded. So to answer this question, I will tell about the quantity of cargo can be loaded means. The meaning of quantity of cargo can be loaded is when calculating the cost of a journey, one of the most significant factors to take into consideration is the maximum amount of cargo that can be carried onto the vessel. This might include the total amount of weight, volume, or TEUs that we call as 20-foot equivalent units of cargo that can be carried into the vessel for a particular journey. The estimations take into consideration the capabilities of the vessel, including its maximum load capacity, as well as any limitations imposed on the kinds or amounts of goods that may be carried. To answer these questions, first, we divide to two sections. In the first section is called more option. The amount of cargo 50,000 metric ton NPK fertilizers with will multiply to 10% and equal 5,000. The answer that we get will plus with the amount of cargo that I said before. 50,000 metric ton NPK fertilizer will plus 5,000 and equal to 55,000 metric ton NPK fertilizer. And the last option is less option. Cargo 50,000 metric ton NPK fertilizer will multiply with 10% and we get 5,000. It seems like just the first option I said before, but in less option, the amount of cargo that we get before 50,000 metric ton NPK fertilizers will minus to 5,000 and we get the answer is 45,000 metric ton NPK fertilizer.
Hi, Assalamualaikum and good morning. First of all, my name is Muhammad Shazwan bin Ramlan, and today I want to explain about voyage duration. Voyage duration is a measure of the time it takes for a ship or vessel to complete a journey from one port to another port. It typically including the time spent at a sea as well as any time spent in a port or at an anchor. The duration of a voyage can vary depending on a number of factors such as the distance of the voyage, the type of a ship, and the weather in condition. For example, a voyage from New York to London on a large cargo ship may take several weeks, while a voyage on a smaller yacht may only take a few days. The voyage duration can also be affected by a factor such as the speed of the ship, the road it takes, and the number of stops along the way. Additionally, voyage duration can also vary depending on the type of a voyage. For example, a cruise ship voyage is leisure voyage that can last for several days to several weeks, while a commercial shipping voyage can last for several weeks to several months. In shipping and logistics, voyage duration is an important factor to consider as affect the overall cost of the voyage, the availability of a cargo space, and the scheduling of a ship depart and arrival. Okay, for the next part, I want to explain how to calculate the voyage duration. Okay, you can look for the slide. A, B, and C. For calculate for a ballast leg, you can look the question give 420 nautical mile per 40.0 kilometer knots. Then you can get 30 hours. Then you per for 24 hours per day. Then you can get 1.25 day. Then continue for the laden leg and repositioning. The flow is the same how to calculate. Then after you get from the 3 calculation yearly, you need to add all three answer you get from the repositioning, then laden leg and ballast leg. Then you can total all the answer to get the voyage duration. For the example, you can look the slide like 1.15 day plus 4.79 day plus 12.65 day, then you can get a total for the voyage duration is 18.69 per day. That's all from me.
Rotterdam. The use of LSGO and ULSGO is the lowest on the Rotterdam voyage. This is because the bunker fuel carried above are very sufficient for a 4-day voyage, while the ship trip to Rotterdam use only LSGO and ULSGO. Rotterdam is an excellent location for transporting bunkers.
Okay, net is what quantity we steam consist at sea, ballast and loaded. So ballast Rotterdam to Sika limit equal to 420 nautical mile. ULSGO maximum 0.15% with speed 14 kts. So first we should calculate day at sea. The formula is distance divided by speed and divide 24 hours. So the distance is 420 divided by 14 and divide 24 hours. We will get 1.25 day voyage. So total use of ULSGO 0.1% equal to 1.25 multiple with 20 MT per day. So we will get 28.75 MT of ULSGO 0.1% as required. Okay, net is ballast. When the Sika limit to Cartagena value is 1,495 MT, so we calculate day at sea with distance 1,495 divide by 14 and divide by 24 hours, we will get 4.45 day voyage. The total of use of ULSGO 0.1% as equal to 4.45 multiple 23 MT per day. We will get the result 102.3363 MT of ULSGO 0.1% as required. So this ballast total use of ULSGO 0.1% as equal to 28.75 MT plus 102.3363 MT of ULSGO 0.1% as required. We will get the value 131.0863 MT of ULSGO 0.1% as required. Okay, so lastly is loaded speed with 13 kts and distance is Cartagena to Recife with 4,251. So day at sea, distance divided by speed divided by hour, we will get 4,251 divided by 13 and divided by 24 hours, we will get the result is 13.625 day voyage. So total use of LSGO or LSFO percent with 0.5% as equal to 13.625 multiple with 23 MT per day. So the result is 313.375 MT of LSGO or LFO maximum 0.5% as.
Next, this section explains about calculate the daily net profit for the voyage. First step, calculate voyage cost. Voyage cost equal to total operation cost and voyage cost equal to total bunker cost plus port cost. First, for total bunker cost, 300 multiplied 350 plus 345 multiplied 150 plus 374 multiplied 350 plus 417 multiplied 150. plus 397 multiplied 350 plus 460 multiplied 150 plus 420 multiplied 350 plus 490 multiplied 150 equal to USD 77,8650. Second, for port cost calculation, USD 77,000 plus USD 62,000 equal to USD 139,000. Total voyage cost calculation equal to USD 77,850 plus USD 139,000 equal to USD 191,750. Second step, calculation of total voyage duration. A. Ballast lead 420 nautical miles divide to 14 knots equal to 30 hours divide 24 hours equal to 1.25 days. B. Laden leg equal to 1,497 nautical miles divide 13 knots equal to 115 hours divide 24 hours equal to 4.79 days. C. Deposition need 4,215 nautical miles divide 14 knots equal to 303.64 hours divide 24 hours equal to 12.65 days. Total voyage duration equal to 1.25 days plus 4.79 days plus 12.65 days equal to 18.69 days.
For the last step of calculation of the daily net cargo, daily net profit was revenue divided voyage duration. Revenue as same as income. Income, we'll find that first we find the income, the freight rate times the quantity. The freight rate 22 per metric tons times 55,000 metric tons. The total was $1,210,000 USD. And then for the second one, we must to find the commission. The commission of income or 5%. So the times of commission, that the total 60,500 USD. For the gross income, income minus commission. The income 1,210,000 and minus the commission 60,500. The total was 1,149,500. For the revenue, gross income minus voyage cost. Gross income that 1,149,500 minus to 917,650, and the total was 231,850. And the daily net profit from the gross income divided for the days of voyage, that's 18.69 days. So the total was 12,405.03 USD. So the conclusion, daily net profit for the voyage is 12,405.03 USD.